Hey Libra, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings. We take what works, we leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. And if I don't catch your wavelength or storyline on this reading, check your other major placements. We are doing things a little differently this week. I am going to do a more traditional tarot spread to start. And then if that resonates with you, you can go over and join me on my Vimeo extended, and we'll fill out the reading there with more oracle cards and other things like that. So you're welcome to do that if this resonates. If this doesn't resonate, check your sun, moon, rising. Did I already say that? I don't know. Okay, I've just cut the deck. Taking from the bottom of the deck for an overall for the reading is rest time, break time. Take care of yourself. Resting, recuperating, and recalibrating. Rest is absolutely important. Recovery is crucial. You may have just had a busy period or accomplished something, and there's time to rest. Sometimes this Four of Swords can come in a little bit like a warning, like if you don't want to rest now, your body's going to make you rest later. So you got to... we have to rest. It's part of life. It's actually part of being productive. It's a crucial cornerstone for productivity and success is rest. So being well rested, before a test or whatever. So there's a little bit of a break. We're talking about some kind of break here. This could be a breaking from work, a layoff, something like that. Nothing too catastrophic, just a little bit of a break. A little bit of a rest. That's the overall vibe we have here. So not a lot going on. Rest time. Past. Whoop, I'm holding on to this upside down. This is really funny. Past, present, inner landscape, what's at issue, environment, to-do list, possible outcome. So this break might be not in every area of your life, but in a very specific area of your life. So sort of what we might be talking about, this is what kind of caught my eye as a little bit humorous, the Hanged Man. What could be more of a break than the Hanged Man? And the Hanged Man it's a very similar card to this one. This one has a more restful vibe, and this one has a more like agitated vibe, like this stuff, nothing's moving, nothing out in the world is moving, nothing's going, you're kind of stuck here in stasis, not a lot you can do about it. This one has a bit of a choice to it. It's a more of a restful nap period, but both of them have, and this one has a recalibration aspect to it, and also it's sort of like a blank page between two chapters. It's like, okay, that's done, blank, rest. Now we go back into the woods. But this is a sort of rest period. But this is like an unchosen break. You didn't have a lot of say in it. It does also connotate, same with Four of Swords, that it's not a total ending. This is just a pause on the journey. This is being in stasis. I mean, the Hanged Man is in a situation. The blood's rushing to his head, so we have a lot of thinking about this. There's been a lot of thinking about the situation. Not a lot happening. It's not been particularly pleasant. But we also know with the Hanged Man that the situation isn't over. It's not over. It's just paused and suspended for a while, and it's giving you a lot. It has in the past given you a lot of food for thought, a lot of ideas. Thinking about how you got into the situation, thinking about what you'll do once you're done with the situation, or once things move forward again. So I love it coming after the Four of Swords. We're talking about something that's been on hold for a minute. A lot of things have been on hold for a minute here with the pandemic. So we have in your current situation, maybe you've experienced this, maybe you haven't quite yet. Queen of Swords. This is going to be a person. This is going to be you, or this is going to be someone you know. They know what they think. They're very clear about it. They may be coming in with a very clear message. They're not going to pussyfoot around with this message. They're not going to couch it in terms. It may come off as a little harsh. It may be a little bit difficult to hear, or not necessarily harsh, but it's just this person, you or whoever else it is going to be very focused on getting their message across. They're not going to be thinking particularly hard about couching things in just the right way. They know what they think. I love this because it is knowing what you think, and it's a really good basis for clear communication. When people are confused and people don't know what they want, that's part of when the communication gets all kind of junked up and troublesome. But this could be very clear communication and very clear on what they think, right? The queens are internal universe. The internals here, someone is very clear on what they think and maybe very clear on communication. So, not all swords are harsh and bad. So it could be lovely communication. It does change the situation, this communication, this message. It has the potential to change things. And even though it may feel very direct, like a little horrifyingly direct, it will have a beautiful effect. That's what I'm seeing here. But there's just a clarity. She can either look a little bitchy some days or just look like super clear, like focused, very focused communication, very focused on what she thinks, on her perspective. This is fine. We all need our perspective. We're all completely entitled to our perspective. And the clarity could be a little bit refreshing. I'm hearing sort of a fuck off vibe here though. Like on the one hand, she's very focused. On the other hand, there's like I really don't need this right now kind of thing going on. So for some of you, it might just be a focused communication. And for some of you, it might be a little bit harsh. So, and that it could be you bringing that in and just like, yeah, actually, no, I'm very clear about this and about what I think and about what I want. Which is lovely. Then we have what you're thinking about, what's on your mind. 4 of Swords, offerings and the refusals of offerings. This, to me, 4 of Swords is a pattern. And we either have like the real deal finally showing up here, or, but it's like, it could be, you might be worried about bad timing. You might be thinking you might refuse something. You might be worried about that. If you're bringing the communication, you might be very concerned about how it's going to be received. If you are receiving the communication, you might be anticipating this communication and wondering if you are going to, what are you going to do with it this time? Are you going to accept this? It's something to consider, that is this the real deal, or is this just more of the same old, same old? There's been a pattern that's already been established, and there's an offer coming in, and there's a deeply considering the offer, possible refusal, possible acceptance, but you're leaning towards refusal right now because you've seen this, you've been there, you've done that, and you're not really interested in a repeat. So it depends on who's doing this communicating. What's on your mind is the reception of that communication, either your own receiving of someone's communication, or how someone's going to receive what you have to say and what you thought, and worried about how that might be received or perceived. Even, is it going to be perceived in the manner in which you offer it? As like, hey, here's my truth, I need you to hear this? Or is it going to be perceived as like, this is just another pile of bullshit, I deal with this crap all day long? And so yeah, there's a consideration of an offer, and it's definitely on your mind. The reception of an offer, or the reception of a communication. What's the issue here is 7 of Swords. Things that were hidden are being revealed. With this Queen of Swords, that could be something. 7 of Swords is some sort of, I like it. I like it actually, because we're talking about something that went on a break, that couldn't move forward, nap time. And here we have sort of this emerging of nap time. In the upright, 7 of Swords can be sneaky. So this is sneaky behavior being revealed. 7 of Swords can also be silent treatment or things gone quiet, like, you know, because in the upright we have this guy that's like, I don't really want to engage openly with this. It seems a little sticky, a little weird. I might not get what I want out of it. So I'm just going to go silent and do what I want to do. Reverse could be coming out of that silence, starting to talk, starting to actually bring something out into the open. So the Seven of Swords reverse is a great card of things being revealed, things being talked about, pauses being unpaused, things finally being openly discussed, ideas being openly exchanged. And you may bring that, you may start that off. You may be the one doing that, or someone else may be the one doing that. But there was you know, there was a lot of fear about how this was going to unfold, how this was going to unravel, a lot of consideration. So coming out in the open, there's that fear is still there, but now there's a decision to, we're not going to be sneaky. We're not going to be, so something coming out into the open now, something that was hidden, being openly discussed and openly dealt with. In your environment, you have Queen of Wands. So you have somebody here. This isn't going to be you. This is going to be somebody else. Very intuitive, very in touch with their own intuition, very concerned mostly with their own path, with their own creative path and their own creative work. Very focused on that. They tend to be very understanding, very compassionate, very kind. They're really tapped into sort of the psychic connections and intuitive connections. They're very understanding. So there's somebody here, male or female, that's going to be really understanding. They meet your energy. They're going to meet your energy. They're going to be understanding of what you're trying to say and where you're coming from. This person might stick to themselves a bit, because they're just following their own path. They're doing their own thing. And it's not that they lack compassion. Same with the Queen of Swords here. It's not that they lack compassion. They just they just protect their energy. And probably because they do connect so easily with people that they tend to be protective of that energy. But they do have a generous spirit. There is something here about independence too, and magic. Independence and magic. So some sort of independent spirit. That's also very compassionate, a little bit magical. I want to say they might have some leadership, right? The queens I generally think of as internal, but the crown on this one is just so overwhelming that there's something about maybe spiritual leadership or spiritual connection here. That crown's just yelling at me today. Your to-do list. Your to-do list is the World card here. We have, so the World card is the last card. It's the end of the cycle. It's the final, it might be about allowing something to end. This is not an action or to-do list card. I mean, it's supposed to be the to-do list, but the to-do list is to allow things to play out. Allow things to come to an end, allow something to wind down, to close out. I mean, we start this with suspended animation here, and this World card is sort of maybe allowing that suspended animation to unsuspend and end or close out. And it's also a card about allowing the larger cycles to occur. Like we have this, like, the world is, you know, the end. So we're right back where we are at the beginning. Things have changed. We've changed. The situation's changed. Maybe everything looks a little bit similar like it did a year ago, but it's totally different, right? That's how life changes, is in these cycles and increments. And so some things may look exactly the same, and then some things may be very different. The world card also talks to me about larger world events, things happening that are just beyond our control, like the cycles of the planets around the sun, the moons around the planets, all of that, these big cosmic cycles, things happening that are just outside of our control. To me, the world card can often be a card of just surrender to the larger flow of things. You're in the larger flow. You are an integral part of the universe. You're an integral part of nature, and allowing yourself to, I think, surrender to the larger cycles, to surrender to some flow. So when I see the world card, I don't see action that's requested of you or required of you, right? You've already like said your piece in a way. If this is you, you've already said your piece. You already have communicated, or you are communicating what you need to, and then let it go. Communication, and then letting it go, and letting whatever needs to play out from that. Just, I want to say, surrendering to the larger processes of life. I feel like that's the world card here in this position in your to-do list, is allowing the world. So this is like not fighting changes that happen, not fighting endings that are coming in, not fighting the right, like fighting the planets, fighting the movement, fighting the age. I mean, it is kind of interesting. Like it's like, allow yourself to be older, allow yourself to be wiser, allow yourself to be in a different place than what you were, and allow sort of the current of life and the current of current events to flow around you and to situate you in the right thing. A sense of something drawing you to it without sort of effortlessly. So I don't see a lot of effort in the world card, unless like it's effort, unless you clinging to something and you kind of gotta like that. This is the only kind of effort I see you putting, is letting go and letting flow happen, and letting go of something, and letting go of needing to control it, because you can't. There's just this surrender to the larger energies of life. You can't control it. So why are you trying? This could be working with the larger energies, but overall I just feel a sense of surrender, and letting something end if it needs to end. Possible outcome, 8 of Cups. You see something, your intuition calls to you, there's something better, there's something more, and you head towards it. Heading towards something more, right? 8 of Cups, maybe this has been satisfying for a time, maybe this rest period, maybe this hanged man period. This was all a nice little adventure, but let's just move on. There's something better. There's a better way to relate. There's a better way to, better possibilities, better things ahead. And you see that and you sense that, and you're heading off on a quest to find that, to leave this place where it seems like there's plenty here, but there's just not quite everything you wanted. There's more to life than this. And so moving forward, moving on to something else. So in that light, this does seem like allowing an ending, allowing something to come full circle and be released of any control and any need from the situation, and seeing where your intuition wants to take you, because there is something calling. With the 8 of Cups, it's not just leaving something behind. That's our 6 of Swords, is leaving something behind, and who gives a crap what. 8 of Cups is more being called, and that's what I was getting with the World card, actually, is this sense of something calling you towards it. Something that you want, it wants you, and it might be calling you towards it, clearing a way for you to find the thing that is feels like an improvement, or more, a search for more completeness, more wholeness, higher, I want to say that song, what is that song? A higher love, like something better calls you forward. So, all right, Libra, I hope that that was helpful for you. If that resonated, come join me over on Vimeo. I'd love to see you there. If not, you made it through a whole video that didn't resonate with you, so that's interesting. But you can also check your other videos and your other placements, or just move on with your day. All right, see you guys in a while.